BARF diet is one of the most popular choices among owners who want to offer natural food to their dogs and cats. But did you know that when applied without guidance and balance, it can put the puppy's health at risk? In this video, you will learn how to identify the main warning signs that the BARF diet may be harming your pet's development. Whether you are starting the BARF journey or already feed your pet with a natural diet, this video is essential to avoid mistakes that can cost your puppy's health dearly. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more complete guides. Activate the bell so you don't miss any episode. Adopting the BARF diet for a puppy is a decision that many owners make with enthusiasm. The idea of offering raw, natural, and biologically appropriate foods seems perfect. After all, we are talking about a diet closer to what dogs and cats would consume in nature. However, when applied without technical knowledge and professional monitoring, the BARF diet can become a silent risk, harming precisely the most critical phase of an animal's life, childhood. And the signs that something is not right often start subtly until they become serious health problems. One of the first warning signs appears in the puppy's feces. Puppies fed a balanced diet should have firm, moist, and well-formed stools. When the diet is unbalanced, extremes appear. Very hard stools, with poorly digested bone fragments, or soft and pasty stools, which indicate excess viscera or vegetables. This detail, which many tutors ignore, is one of the fastest indicators that the ratio between bones, meat, offal, and vegetables is not correct. Dry stools can also signal a risk of constipation and even lesions in the rectum, especially in small puppies. Another important warning is weight gain. Puppies should grow continuously, gaining muscle mass and energy each week. When the diet does not offer the proper balance, the tutor may notice that the animal grows irregularly, sometimes very thin, with visible ribs and weak muscles. Other times, too heavy, accumulating fat instead of lean mass. These deviations are a direct reflection of the lack of calcium, phosphorus, quality protein or excess fat, and poorly dosed vegetables. The risk, in this case, is to compromise the puppy's bone and muscle development for life. The fur and skin also reveal a lot. A healthy puppy on a natural diet should have soft, shiny coats and clean skin. When there are nutritional deficiencies or formulation errors, the fur can become dry, brittle, and even fall out in excess. The skin, in turn, may show flaking, constant itching, or redness. In many cases, this is a result of a lack of essential fatty acids, which are present in good quality animal fats, but absent when the diet is poor in variety or incomplete. And perhaps one of the most worrying signs is in the bones and joints. Puppies need calcium and phosphorus in very specific proportions to form strong bones and grow in a balanced manner. When the BARF diet is applied in an amateur way, with excess meat and offal, but little presence of raw, fleshy bones or correct supplementation, deformities in the legs, difficulty walking, weakness, and even spontaneous fractures appear. This is a common mistake. Many owners, afraid to offer bones, end up removing this essential component without realizing that they are depriving the puppy of a vital nutrient. In addition, the energy level is a direct reflection of the quality of the diet. A healthy puppy should be active, curious, and full of vitality. When the diet is unbalanced, he can become apathetic, tire easily during games, or sleep much longer than normal. On the other hand, an excess of proteins and fats without proper control can cause hyperactivity, with the animal always agitated, anxious, and unable to relax. Both extremes are signs that the diet is not meeting the body's real needs. Another symptom that should trigger an immediate alert is altered breath. Although it is common for dogs to have a characteristic smell, intense bad breath in puppies fed BARF can indicate intestinal imbalance or the presence of harmful bacteria proliferating due to excess meat or poorly sanitized viscera. This sign should not be ignored, as it can be the harbinger of digestive problems or even infections. And last but not least is food acceptance. When the puppy repeatedly refuses food, seems nauseous, or eats only specific parts of the plate, it may indicate that the diet is poorly formulated, with an excess of one ingredient or a lack of another essential. Natural food should awaken instinct and pleasure and not provoke rejection or apathy. All these signs, as simple as they may seem, are clear messages that the puppy's body sends to alert the owner that something is wrong. The big challenge is to interpret these messages correctly and act fast before the effects of a poorly formulated diet become permanent, because in the growth phase, each mistake has a multiplied weight and can irreversibly compromise future health. If at first glance the signs already seem clear, their origin is usually in the most common mistakes made by inexperienced owners when formulating the BARF diet for puppies. And understanding these failures is essential to prevent them. The first mistake, and perhaps the most frequent, is the imbalance between raw, fleshy bones and muscular flesh. Many tutors, for fear of offering bones or for convenience, end up assembling dishes composed mostly of pure meat without the proper proportion of bones. The result is devastating for puppies. calcium deficiency, compromised bone growth, risk of rickets, and even permanent deformities in the paws. Another serious mistake is the excess of viscera. Despite being rich in nutrients, viscera, such as liver and kidney, should not exceed 10% of the total diet. When offered in excess, they cause constant diarrhea, soft stools, and overload on the developing liver. Many owners believe that the more liver, the better for health, since it is a source of iron and vitamin A. But in puppies, hypervitaminosis A can cause bone changes, joint pain, and lethargy, signs easily confused with other diseases. It is also common for tutors to try to compensate for formulation errors by inserting too many vegetables. Believing that they are making the meal healthier, many add large amounts of carrots, pumpkin, or kale, exceeding the recommended limits. This exaggeration results in bulky stools, gas, reduced absorption of proteins and essential minerals, in addition to predisposing to intestinal imbalances. In kittens, the risk is even greater. As strict carnivores, they have very low tolerance to plant fibers. Another recurring mistake is the lack of protein variety. Some owners offer exclusively chicken or only beef, believing that they are meeting all needs. But each type of animal protein offers a different profile of amino acids, fats, and micronutrients. Dietary monotony leads to silent nutritional deficiencies, which manifest themselves in stunting, dull fur, and low immunity. The ideal is to rotate protein sources, chicken, beef, fish, lamb, always respecting the puppy's gradual adaptation. The absence of correct supplementation is also among the greatest risks. Many believe that it is enough to offer meat and bones to have a complete diet. But the truth is that some nutrients cannot be obtained in adequate amounts from raw food alone. Fish oil, for example, is essential to provide omega-3 in balance, ensuring healthy neurological development and immune support. Without it, the puppy may have dry skin, learning difficulties, and greater susceptibility to infections. Another serious mistake is not respecting the exact proportion of nutrients recommended for growing puppies. While adult dogs can adapt to slight variations, puppies rely on a precise formula. About 70% fleshy bones with meat, 10% offal, 10% pure muscle meat, and 10% vegetables and supplements. Escaping this rule means risking the most delicate phase of the animal's life, when every cell, bone, and muscle depends on balanced nutrition. In addition to formulation errors, there are practical flaws that also harm. Incorrect storage of meat is one of them. Meat that is poorly frozen or thawed improperly can carry harmful bacteria, such as Salmonella and E. coli, which cause severe diarrhea in puppies. And unlike adults who have greater resistance, puppies have an immature immune system, making them much more vulnerable to infections. Another frequent oversight is in the quantity offered. Due to lack of follow-up, some tutors offer too little food, resulting in malnutrition, growth retardation, and muscle weakness. Others offer in excess, leading to early obesity and overload on the joints. The critical point here is that puppies cannot be fed in the eye. They require precise calculations of calories, proteins, and minerals according to age, weight, breed, and activity level. And perhaps one of the most dangerous mistakes is the lack of specialized veterinary follow-up. Many owners start the BARF diet based only on information from the internet without consulting a veterinary nutritionist. This means that the puppy's diet is built on trial and error, putting the health of an organism that is in full development at risk. Without periodic blood tests and clinical evaluation, it is impossible to notice nutritional deficiencies that do not give immediate signs, but that silently accumulate until they become diseases. All these mistakes do not happen out of bad intention. They are born out of the desire to offer something better, but without the proper knowledge. And that's why the second warning sign is precisely this. When the tutor believes he is doing his best, but in fact, he's making mistakes that only appear weeks or months later, when the damage is already installed. If the initial signs may go unnoticed, the most serious clinical symptoms are a cry for help from the puppy's body. They show that the imbalance of the BARF diet is no longer just a detail and is turning into a real health problem. Recognizing these signs in time can mean the difference between safely correcting the diet or facing chronic diseases that will accompany the animal for life. One of the first points to look at is bone and joint changes. Puppies with a lack of calcium and phosphorus and proper balance may have bowed legs, difficulty in firming their paws, or lameness, which is the famous blunder when walking. These signs are often mistaken for trauma or falls, but they actually indicate a severe nutritional deficit. In advanced cases, spontaneous fractures and irreversible deformities appear, a direct reflection of a poorly formulated diet. Another worrying sign is muscle weakness. If the puppy seems to tire quickly in simple games, has difficulty climbing low steps, or avoiding running after toys, it may be that he is missing quality protein or essential amino acids. This weakness is not only physical, it also compromises neurological development, since proteins are directly linked to the formation of neurotransmitters and the proper functioning of the brain. Persistent digestive problems should also be taken seriously. recurrent vomiting, constant diarrhea, or alternating between soft and very hard stools are signs that something is wrong. In puppies, this condition can quickly lead to dehydration, weight loss, and electrolyte deficiency. When this symptom persists, it indicates that the diet is overloading the digestive system, either due to the excess of poorly crushed bones, the exaggerated use of viscera, or the presence of unsuitable vegetables. The weakened immune system is another direct reflection of the ill-adjusted diet. Puppies who get sick frequently, catch canine colds, or have recurring skin and ear infections may be suffering from deficiencies in essential vitamins and minerals, such as zinc, vitamin E, or omega-3 fatty acids. This weakening reduces the body's natural defense capacity, leaving the puppy vulnerable to diseases that, under normal conditions, would be easily fought. Changes in the fur and skin become even more evident at this stage. The puppy can develop intense itching, dermatitis, reddish areas, or even plaque hair loss. This is often a result of a lack of balance between omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, or a deficiency of biotin and zinc, which should be present in a well-formulated diet. This type of symptom is a visible warning that the basis of nutrition is not sustaining the body. Another serious symptom that cannot be ignored is the delay in overall development. If, compared to other animals of the same age and breed, the puppy seems smaller, fragile, and less active, it is likely that it is suffering from a diet that is insufficient in calories or unbalanced in nutrients. Growth delay, when not corrected in time, can result in an adult animal with smaller size, underdeveloped muscles, and a greater propensity to metabolic diseases. Dental problems can also appear early. Baby teeth that take a long time to fall out, poor arch alignment, and inflamed gums can indicate a lack of adequate raw, fleshy bones, responsible for providing calcium, phosphorus, and stimulating correct chewing. This sign is especially important because many owners believe that puppies don't need bones, when in fact they are the ones who strengthen the tooth structure from an early age. And there is also the most alarming symptom: emotional apathy. An inadequately fed puppy does not only suffer physically, he may also show changes in behavior, sleeping too much, being uninterested in playing, not reacting to the tutor's call with enthusiasm, or even showing signs of anxiety and nervousness. The animal's brain and behavior depend directly on good nutrition, and the lack of vital energy is the cruelest reflection of an unbalanced diet. All these serious signs should not be ignored. They show that the puppy's body is suffering, and that the diet, which should be a source of health, is turning into a slow poison. When these symptoms appear, there is no room for improvisation. It is time to seek immediate professional help, review the diet, and perform complete tests to assess the nutritional impact on the body. The BARF diet can transform a puppy's health, bringing vitality, energy, and balanced development. But when applied without knowledge, without monitoring, and without respect for the correct proportions, it can become an invisible risk that compromises the animal's entire life. And the big issue is that the warning signs do not appear all at once. They appear in small changes: a different stool, a duller coat, and irregular growth. Ignoring these signs is opening space for the imbalance to turn into disease. Therefore, the final message is clear. It is not enough to want to offer the best. It is necessary to do it the right way. Natural food requires study, veterinary guidance, and constant observation. Each puppy is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. The only way to ensure safety is to closely monitor each reaction of the body, record changes, and adjust whenever necessary. Remember, a PUP has no reserves to deal with prolonged mistakes. The impact of a poorly formulated diet today could be a fragile skeleton tomorrow, a vulnerable immune system in the future, or even a shorter lifespan than it should be. Food may be the most powerful medicine, or the quietest poison. The difference is in the knowledge and responsibility of those who prepare each meal. If you've noticed any of the warning signs we've shown you in this video, don't wait. Seek advice from a veterinary nutritionist, adjust the menu, and give your puppy a chance to grow up strong, healthy, and full of energy. The childhood phase passes quickly, but the effects of this phase mark forever. And if this content made sense to you, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to follow the next videos. Share with other owners who are also starting the BARF journey and need to learn to recognize the signs that can save their puppy's health. Your puppy deserves to grow up with vitality, balance, and longevity. And that starts now with conscious choices and quality information.